Witches. It's Luna here with, first of all, your reminder that love is love, is love is love is love. So mote it be. And an unboxing as advertised, and I am unboxing an oracle deck for you. And this one is the Fairy Oracle with artwork by Arthur Rackham. This is an artist that I talked in another unboxing ages and ages ago about, might have been the Edmund Dulac, which wasn't that long ago. Anyway, stop short-circuiting yourself, Luna. This is one of the artists that was in that Time Life magical whatever series, and he's got that dark, it's like dark and ethereal at the same time. Just wonderful, wonderful stuff. So when I saw that there's an oracle deck and there's also a tarot deck, which I do not yet own, I jumped on it. So we have a nice two-part box, Fairy Oracle, Arthur Rackham, Jaymi Elford. I'm assuming that's the one that either put his artwork into card form or, that and or wrote. So we just have the title on the three sides. And it is a Scarabeo deck, so we have all the languages on the back. A magical place out of time. The Fairy Oracle is a Victorian age renaissance full of poetry, glamour, and mystery. It's a personal, intimate journey into the moonlit tales of the good folk. So let's go. Let's go talk to the other crowd and see how they go. So just plain black inside. Here's the book. And the English part of the book only goes up to through page 29. So we have English, Italian, Spanish, French, Portuguese, and Russian. This is copyright 2020. And artwork by Arthur Rackham, text by Jaymi Elford. So that tells me that the artwork is just going to be straight, from his actual works and not recreated. All right, let's see what we have here. Very, very simple, short introduction. Welcome to the Fairy Oracle. This 36-card divination tool explores the Victorian fairy realms and our connections with it. The themes in this deck express a wide variety of emotions and concepts known to all of humanity. Use this deck to inspire your world and to let the fairies of the old ways help to answer your questions. If you look closely at the images on the cards, you'll see hidden figures peering back at you, waiting to tell their stories. The Oracle of the Good Folk features artwork by Arthur Rackham. Now, interesting, in here, Fairy Oracle, here they have, Oracle of the Good Folk as if that is the name of it. Features artwork by Arthur Rackham, who lived from 1867 to 1939. He was a fantasy painter whose illustrations graced the pages of children's books. His earlier illustrations were done in pen and India ink, while his later images incorporated watercolors to create their dreamy effects. It took him many years to develop the style that would eventually make him famous. His illustrations appeared in books by J.M. Barrie, Rudyard Kipling, and Lewis Carroll. Rackham's work was heavily influenced by his imagination and tales of the fairy folklore. Many of his paintings were used to capture and illustrate the various fairy tales from around the world. Okay. And then it has fairy lore of the time period. The Cottingley fairies, oh my god, okay. So the Cottingley fairies, I think, were the ones where the girls started playing around with a camera, in the early days of photography, and hoodwinked an entire country into thinking they were playing with the actual fairies. But there's also, I think it's called Lady Cottington's pressed fairy book. The artwork is Brian Froud, and it was co-written with, I believe, Terry Jones from Monty Python. And it's a book about, these girls that are meeting with the fairies, but they're catching these fairies and they smash them in the book. And so there's all these illustrations of the pressed fairies, and it's fucking hilarious. And I think I may have to do a video on that book just because, why wouldn't you? It's hilarious. Okay. So we have that, and then we're right into card meanings. And, you know, what else are you going to do in the 29 pages that you get? So there is a little ribbon pull, you could see. Now, let me zoom you in. Here are the card backs. We have fat little cherubs with wings. So these are baby fairies. Here's little fairy beings, but oh, no, no, no. That is a human baby. Uh-oh, this could be kind of grim. That's a human baby. And what I thought were like its wings are actually these fairies that are they trying to steal the baby? Are they trying to push the baby? Are they trying to catch the baby? I don't know. But being that they're fairies, I don't trust them. You know I do trust you. All the good folk out there. I'll leave them some brandy tonight. Okay, so those are the backs. And these are the cards. So you see this delicacy, and you know there's very fine line. This is just so appealing to me. I adore this art style. It's classic. You know, when you look at how the faces are depicted, let me give you a close-up. Look at the fine lines. Look at the fine detail and the lyrical quality. But then again, it's kind of soft and ethereal and smudgy, and there's that balance of the super soft and then the very defined lines that appeals to me. When I was a kid and I did coloring books, first of all, I pressed down on the crayon as hard as I could. Big surprise to you, huh? But then I outlined everything in black. So here we have number 1, and we have a number on the card, but we have no other indication of the meaning of this card. You know I'm a fan of keywords. But let's look. So we've got a little baby fairy and a seashell, and this fairy, is this about connecting, communicating, welcoming, babies? Look at the fish. Anyway, now I have to look. Connection. Well, there you go. Now this one. Okay. Just to play for a second here, there's a bunch of birds, very strange looking birds. They look like they're, yes, wearing wigs and like a magistrate and stuff. And then there's, looks like a foot hanging down here, but I don't know. And this thing hanging, and I don't know what it is. It's a ball with little threads around it. WTF. And then there's this Meister Burger pointing. He's looking angrily at somebody over here, and he's pointing. Get away. Go do what I told you to do. That looks like, you know, commanding or directing, or, you know, off you go. Now I have to see. Observation. Wow. The man preens and gestures. He appears well off and is engaged in important business. That definitely comes across. He wears fancy clothing and a large white hat with a long white feather plume. He is not so keenly aware of his surroundings, for a group of birds roost above him. Off to the left, sitting in a nest, is a bird knitting a sock. So that's a sock, not a leg, but it is a foot. Down below, a baby bird, freshly hatched from its blue egg, seems to copy the motions of the man. Really? Okay. Wow. That's teeny weeny. You know, when I look at his foot here and over here, I didn't even notice that. And then there is a meaning. So there's a description and a meaning. Use your senses to really observe the world around you. Know your audience and cater to their needs. What you see is what you get. Don't ignore those around you. They may have knowledge to share if you just notice them. All right. I love the artwork. I don't really get what she's saying in the meanings by looking at this image. And I'm wondering if I get... Okay, so let's just continue here. It'll all come out in the test drive, right? Here's the number 3 card. So these are like ghosts at night, and there's creatures down here. Night flying, secrecy. There's a black bird there. I think I might just keep the book open. Night watch. Okay. All right. Perfect. Then we have a fairy sitting there. Oh, okay. So there's these little gnomey creatures that are putting something up there. I mean, are these fairies or is she the fairy? But they're offering, and this card is offering. They're giving this to her. That makes sense. That second one threw me for a loop there. Number 5. So we've got like this parade of fairy children. And this one's kind of ducking like he's getting away with something. This is tribe. Okay. I feel much better. Number 6, there's fairies at the mouth of a cave. There's creatures up here. What is this thing that they've got between them? This one is Siren Song. Okay, so these are the sirens, I think, trying to lure in someone. And the meaning says, this card is a warning. Beware of the siren song. What you may be offered might not be what you want. Think about what is going on and make sure the situation you find yourself in is truly what you want. Be aware of what you're being asked to give away of your own as well. So yeah, don't be lured in. I could get that. Then we have, oh, is this Father Christmas? Okay. Gifts. Well, yeah. Revolution. I mean, this one is so soft. All right. This one is called Enticement. This is... All right. I'm looking at the hands down there, and does that make sense? I guess it does where his hand is, but anyway. So it looks like he might be being enticed and they're trying to pull him back. I don't know. 10 is christening. All right. There's the baby. Then we have secrets, and look at the... Okay. Then we have rehearsal. Perfect. Danger. Then enlightenment. Wow. That is a beautiful image. This is the image that's on the box. Look at the light around her hair. And she just looked so still, dynamically still and present. This is beautiful. And we certainly get some very different keywords and titles for the cards than in other oracles. Usually there's a lot about enlightenment and transformation and, you know, self-care and things like that. But these are, I'm liking these. If I get out of my, you know, now I'm like trying to catch the deck out, so I'm not really focused. Gifts, revolution, enticement, christening, secrets, rehearsal. This is going to be interesting. Then we have defense. Okay, that makes sense. Flights of fancy. I'm considering maybe taking like a silver marker and putting the keywords on these. That might be a deck mod. Rest. And still, I love the style so much. You may recognize it. If you do you recognize this style from anything you've read? Rejection. Ooh. Progress. Wow. Look at that. Isn't she gorgeous? This camera has such a struggle. Look at the gown. Number 20 is demise. Boy, I'll say, there's some kind of a little impy devil-y thing that they're going after. I'm going to read this one. A hole from the surface causes unsuspecting fairies to tumble down onto the hard, dark surface below. One horned Pan is just now understanding his predicament. Without a secure route to head out, the fairies must band together or face their demise, just like the skeletons surrounding them. So they're the ones that are facing demise, not him. It looks like he's the one that fell down. No matter. All right. Fond farewell. Contrast that with the one that was rejection. See ya. But this is a fond farewell. Then we have righteous. Yeah, totally get that. The collector. Delight. This is going to read in a very interesting way. Re-evaluation. Yeah. Maybe I should have thought this over. Looks like they're tangled up in a kite. So, where was the delight one? Oh, it was the one right before it. Okay, so here's delight. Look at this little fairy, and the birds are flying the kite, and he's going, wee, this is so great. And then, whoops, we crash landed in the pond, and the swans are all tangled up in the kite. So this one is reevaluation. I'm digging it. Balance. Supported. I think I am going to have to put the keywords on these. Shared wishes. It's just perfect. Personal celebration. So what's nice is it's obvious that there wasn't like, you know, here are the standard things you're looking for in an oracle deck, and then trying to find images to fit. Obviously, these things were drawn actually from the images. The only one observation is the one that just kind of throws me. Personal celebration. This one is distraction. Okay. Who's getting distracted? Follow your true path or you'll be carried away. Okay, so they're carrying this baby away. Oh. Gossip. Teachers. I mean, I see a face here. These are such dark things. There's like little eyes coming out here and there. I don't know if you can see it because I'm not sure I'm seeing it. Community celebration. So we had personal celebration. That was the baby. And now here's the community celebrating. This is punishment. Take flight and rejoice. Wow. Fascinating. Let's look at the book a little bit more. So we have the card meanings, and then at the end, using the oracle of the good folk. Many readers use spreads or purposely designed patterns to set the cards in. Spreads come in all sizes and shapes. Simplest is a single card. And just basically shuffle, pull, and read them. Advice from the fairy spread. There's card 1 and 2. And then there's a fairy ring reading. So this is what do I need to know and what action should I take. The fairy ring, where are you? You in the present moment. Helpful forces. Something you need to get you where you want to go. Unknown forces. And the first step out. All right, let's do that one. So let me light my charcoal. Thank you for not putting out my candle. And do a little bit of a smoke cleanse. So wow, I feel like I had a little boomerang thing there because I was so hopeful because I love this artwork so much, and then it looked like it was going to be not good meanings wise. So I got really let down, and then I got relieved. All right, and let me give it a sound bath real quick, and then I will zoom you out. So the smoke cleanses air and fire. The ocean water is water and earth. And the bell is sound, which is the element of spirit. Be right back. Okay, here we are. Now, let's tell our guides and guardians, allies and ancestors, thank you for being here with me every minute of every day. Help me to open the door to the messages that this deck has for us. And I offer you fresh water and the fire of Azrael to bring the spirit of divination to this deck. And it's going out my open window, so that is also an offering to the good people out in our woods. I will leave you something special tonight. So, our question as ever is, how do we, in whatever circumstances we find ourselves in now, how do we move beyond a feeling of just surviving into thriving? They're a little stiff. I'm glad it's only 36 cards because it's pretty stiff cardstock. You know, I can do that, but to bridge, I really have to crank them. So let's do a couple more. I do love riffle shuffling. And I'm blowing on them as well. Give them a knock, a kiss, and a breath. So this is the things that I do when I sit down to read for myself. I'll knock on the deck, I'll blow on the deck, and give it kisses. Oh, that one levitated, so that's going to be our number one. All right, in the 4-card spread, fairies, what do we need to know? What do we need to know to go from scraping by to flying high? And I would like to take them off the top if I may, please. So they say, okay, but that's number 2. This one wants 3. I told him I'm taking off the top, so we'll see what that one brings. I always have to color outside of the lines a little bit, you know. Okay, so here is that solitary celebration. Personal celebration. So looking, you know, going through and having the book right next to it already helped me to hook the meanings to these cards. So we'll see if I draw on them or write on them or not. So the first card is where we are in the present moment, and that is personal celebration. A boy blows his panpipes while sitting on a mushroom. Down beneath him, a crowd of fairies dance and honor the moment along with him. The sky dims, suggesting this party has been going on for a long time. So here's the meaning. That was the description. Here's the meaning. You are an amazing being who has done incredible things in your life. Revel in who you are and what you have accomplished. Share these achievements with those around you. Your friends will be there to cheer for you. So, contrary to it saying, you know, here's where we are right now, that just felt like a really positive message from the fairies themselves saying, buck up, you know, this is the truth of it. You're talented, you have achieved things, even if you feel like you're stalled and stuck and, you know, in the doldrums and all of that stuff. Here's what you need to know, because starting from where we are, where are we? So this is a reminder of where we really are. We are grown-ups, we are accomplished, we are skillful, we are choking on the fire of Azrael. Yeah. A little bit, and I like put a frickin' shovelful on there. Good God. Let me just open my window a little bit more. And so the breeze so helpfully comes to blow it back in on me instead of taking it out as an offering. You know. All right. The next card, helpful forces. Something you need to get you where you want to go. And this one flipped itself over, so we're going to turn it. There are no reverses. Helpful forces, and this card was danger. Two warring factions meet high in a darkened sky. Fairy warriors wield bows and staffs, rushing in to meet the bats threatening their homes. Send out the troops. This is a time for physical engagement, for defending your own rights, and for protecting the valuables. It is the time to stand up to dangers lurking around. Combative force may be necessary at this time. Stand your ground and don't back down. This is a hard lesson to take, but danger does appear in life and must be met and dealt with promptly. Wow! All right, I am right now a big, huge fan of this deck. This deck goes there. I so appreciate a card saying you may have to stand and fight, because truthfully, where we are right now in June of 2022, that applies to so many situations, so many vital situations right now. So in the category, though, of helpful forces, it says information around something you need to get you where you want to go. What do we need? We need to stand up and fight for it. Whew. This one is unknown forces. Shows you something you don't know about. It may hinder your progress or it may help you along. I'm glad that they, give it both sides. Okay. Flights of fancy. Okay, something we don't know, which means something we need to know about that might be a hindrance or a help. A fairy gives the baby a ride of their life, I bet. High above the trees they glide, enjoying each other's company. The fairy holds tight to the baby's legs, securing the child to her back. This is a joyful card, one of endearing trips and moments spent with someone you care about. It's time to take a chance, break out from your daily mold, and allow your imagination to fly free. Trust in yourself and be open to new possibilities. Flights of fancy, like daydreams, give us the input we need to climb higher. So joyful and inspiring and imaginative. What we need to know about is that we can go about what we need to do, which is standing up and fighting. We can go about that in a joyful, inspired, and imaginative way. If we use imagination and humor, it gives us more leverage than just brute force, whatever we're standing up against. Creativity is always warranted. And this is the first step out. This card gives you an action you need to take to achieve your goal. This is where I had the question of whether it was this card or this card. This one, I think, was about protection or defense. Yes, defense. And this one was the last one in the deck, which was about rejoice. All right. An action we need to take. Defend and rejoice. All right. So, defend. A bumblebee pushes off from the flower on a thistle bush. It hovers midair. Nearby, a startled fairy lingers. He has his spear at the ready, standing guard. Time seems to slow down. Trouble is brewing, and neither wants to hurt the other. That's key. This card asks you to take a defensive stance. Be aware of your surroundings. Take preventative measures and be prepared. You never know what lurks in the brambles. Perhaps a smooth passing can be negotiated, perhaps not, but you have to be the judge. Holy shit, you guys. This deck just does not shy away from real life things. So if I look at this from where we are now, and I will tell you just personally, living in Ohio, where they just passed a law that you do not have to have a specific license, concealed carry permit to carry a concealed weapon, and they are looking at arming the teachers. So personal celebration. This talked about celebrating who we are, starting from where we are, remember our own value. This was saying that we need to be aware of the dangers around us, and that what we may need to do is stand up and fight. Yeah. And then what's could really help us is, or hinder us, is flights of imagination. So, if, like me, you go to big disaster head right off the bat, I'm like, I'm never going out in public again. I don't know who's carrying or what kind of nut bars are out there. And I just, so that kind of flight of imagination, grounded in reality or not, can be a hindrance. But it's also saying that as we fight and stand up, we can use imagination and creativity in order to engage people and get some things done. And then what the action we need to take is defend. We need to defend. And how do we do that? Do I buy body armor? And then we've got rejoice. So let's read that one too. Many fairies float in the air, playing with the will-o'-the-wisps surrounding them. They speak with the dragonflies and each other, and seem to be having a wonderful time with one another. This card is a wonderful omen to receive. Rejoice and celebrate with your tribe. You have worked hard and done so much. Know that bad times will pass and the good will return. You are in the moment. Let the wild rumpus happen. Oh my God. So that right there is saying, so what do? You be careful, be aware of your surroundings, be aware of where you're going, and, vigilance, just be vigilant, and rejoice, get together with people. So that was directly aimed at me going, I'm not going to these big outdoor gatherings, I'm just not going to do it, but it's like, rejoice, be with your tribe, because, that's too high a price to pay. Wow. Folks, this, I am looking forward to working with this deck, because clearly it has a connection with the fairies, and it talks. And it just is fascinating in the range of meanings and how it does not shy away from the dark. I want to just real quickly take a look through like this one. Number 8 was revolution. I thought, gosh, what does that mean? So that's this one. Kind of hard to see. There you go. In every age, a revolution happens. For the Victorians, the rise of the Industrial Revolution heralded a time of fear and worry for the old ways. The construction of skyscrapers, of smokestacks, and of machines threatened to tear the very fabric of imagination away. Thankfully, the fears were only just that. Were they, though? I mean, really, were they? For the good folk are still here. Yes, the good folk are still here. But did the Industrial Revolution not do damage? Oh my God, did it ever? And the meaning is, it always feels darkest before the new dawn. Revolution can be a scary moment. Why did I pick this particular card? Revolution can be a scary moment. Embrace the change, but hold true to your ideals. Be weary. Okay, here comes the grammar police. This says, be weary, W-E-A-R-Y, of what comes. No, the word you want there is leery. Leery means I'm sussy about it, all right? Or the other word that fits is wary. So people have taken leery and wary and crammed them into the word weary, which means tired. Okay. Be wary of what comes. Rage against the dying of the light. Hold up your candle to the dark and light the way through the wilds. So, this is a great message for Pluto at the end of Capricorn here. It's always darkest before the dawn, and that should give us some hope. I hope it gives you hope. It certainly gives me hope. And this deck gives me hope too, and I am now much happier with it. I was going to be so disappointed, and now I can't wait to get the tarot deck because the illustrations are fabulous. Let me know what you thought of it down below. If you're not subscribed, please take care of that. And hit the like notification and the bell notification. The like and the bell notification so you know when new content comes down. I will see you next time on another unboxing or a prayer circle or a live stream. And until then, this is Luna. Blessed be.